Minneapolis, Minnesota. It's known as the City of Lakes, the city of Mary Tyler Moore, and Wheaties. It's home to the Minnesota Twins, Prince, and Ludafisk. Since the 1990s, the population of this flour-milling city that once literally prided itself on being the capital of white bread has transformed into a vibrant mix of Asian refugees, African immigrants, and Latino workers. There's also growing communities of Somalis, Vietnamese, and others who've added their cultures to the city's African American and Native American mix.
By 2040, Minneapolis is projected to be a majority-minority city, meaning whites will not be the majority in the city any longer, which is great. I mean, that's a huge asset for a global cosmopolitan city. And, it'll have an impact on how we do voter education and outreach, who we find running for office, and the issues that people are expected to address, as it should.
Minneapolis has long been a one-party town. Since the 1970s, every mayor has been a member of the Democratic Farmer Labor Party, or DFL for short. The last Republican to win the office of mayor was in the 1950s. The city council is all DFL, save one member of the Green Party. And honestly, elections in recent years have been pretty dull. For the most part, the winner in the November election is decided at the DFL convention in June by a handful of party activists. If those activists fail to pick a winner, which has happened a few times, then the voters crown the party's standard bearer in the sparsely attended early fall primary. That candidate virtually cruises to victory with the help of DFL money and the party's turnout machine in November. Since 1977, only one race has been decided by less than 10 points. The real election happens with the DFL party faithful. Voters are simply asked in November to concur. So what's democracy got to do with it? Gene Massey and the election reformers of Fair Vote Minnesota began to ask themselves the same question.
What we know about politics right now is that it prevents the kind of third-party participation and choice that voters want to see in the election. And meanwhile, every election becomes highly acrimonious, and the way that elections are won by attacks. Ranked choice voting would not just foster civility in the campaign process, but foster the kind of compromise and consensus building in the governing process, because candidates winning would need to reach, again, beyond their narrow base, appeal to a broad majority, not just to be elected, but to be re-elected in the process. So they go in with a much broader mandate of a majority of voters, and that creates a new kind of environment for governing, and that's the kind of process we'd like to see move forward in Minnesota.
Ranked choice voting has already been tried in a few American cities: San Francisco, California, Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Oakland, California, for example. Minneapolis adopted ranked choice voting in time for the 2009 city election. But Mayor R.T. Ryback was in the middle of an easy romp to his third straight victory. He ended up winning by 40 points, so hardly anyone noticed the change in election procedures. That changed completely in 2013 after Ryback announced he wasn't running for a fourth term. That threw the door open for an avalanche of candidates and a ridiculous amount of media confusion. It was a three-ring circus of blowhards, egomaniacs, and let's just say it, total goofballs.
I will not take money from the political angle. I will not even go to the strip clubs anymore.
So how exactly does ranked choice voting work? Well, instead of just voting for one candidate and rejecting everybody else, voters could now rank their top 3 choices for mayor in order of preference. If a candidate gets more than 50% of the first place votes on election night, then the election is over. End of story. The candidate with the majority wins. But if no candidate gets a majority, then the person with the fewest votes is eliminated. The losers' ballots are then redistributed among the remaining contenders, using the voter's second choice, then third choice, and then that process continues until a single candidate reaches 50% of the total vote. In the end, that 2013 election for mayor set campaign spending records. Voters and victors embraced the new ranked choice voting system. And after all the votes were counted, the city's second woman leader was elected mayor.
Thank you. Thank you.
This video was made possible thanks to generous support from the Joyce Foundation.